ROA Insights provides NAIA members in-depth data on how athletics can affect institutional enrollment, student success, and financial viability. In this video, we'll be looking at how an administrator can use the ROA Insights tool to examine a team's specific financial aid awards using the institution and calculator page. You'll learn how sport filters on the institutional page will allow you to dive into specific programs or groups of programs, how to navigate to data visuals specific to financial aid, and how to leverage the calculator page to see how some minor adjustments can have an anticipated effect on the bottom line. Let's say that NAIA private university wants to specifically look at their women's basketball program. The administrator would start by going to the institution page and looking at their key metrics year over year. The institution page defaults on your overall department, so to isolate women's basketball, a user would need to use the By Sport dropdown and select their desired sport or group of sports. In this case, we'll select women's basketball. You can see how all the metrics changed on the page. These are now the values specific to the program we filtered by. The administrator can now see how the women's basketball net return has decreased. They also see an increase in the amount of financial aid per student, and as expected, see an increase in the full cost of attendance discount rate and the tuition-only discount rate. If a user leaves their cursor over a particular metric for a moment, they can see that information over time. This is a nice, easy way to review those details. So for example, they can see that they had the same number of students in the women's basketball program in 17-18 and 18-19, 13, but their aid also increased from around 16,000 to about 19, almost 20,000 per student. The ROA Insights tool also includes a financial aid summary page, which allows a user to see totals and percentages from different categories of aid. You find this visual by selecting the financial aid summary using the drop-down in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. ROA Insights breaks financial aid data into 5 categories: academic aid, athletic aid, need-based aid, work-study, and other aid. You can find which color in the chart represents which type of aid in the key below. The admin for NAIA Private University can now see that their athletic aid increased $24,000 from 17-18 to 18-19, and that there were other minor increases and decreases in other categories. They can also see the percentage at which each category makes up the entire amount of aid spent. Next, we move on to the calculator page. This section of ROA Insights lets you play around with your data in a very simple way. Similar to the institution page, you can filter by sport using the drop-down menu. We'll navigate to women's basketball since that has been our example. In the large box, you see what your calculated net return would be based on the data you've provided. You also see your reported values on the bottom left of the screen and the calculated values on the bottom right. In the middle, there are 2 sliders, one for the number of student athletes and one for the discount rate. You can adjust these either by dragging the blue bar or by typing a value into the text box. Once you do that, the net return calculation updates and your calculated values update based on the changes you've made. So in our women's basketball example, let's say you wanted to see what your net return could look like if you lowered the discount rate 5% and added 2 more student athletes. Based on the institution's current information, they could anticipate a net return increase of $45,000 by making those 2 things happen. Again, this is a projected net return based on the information we've received from the school. The goal of ROA Insights is to provide users an easy way to get in-depth data about their institution in key categories. You can use the filters to dive deep into specific programs, while also using the navigation at the top to access additional visuals, such as the financial aid summary that we looked at today. Additionally, the calculator page provides an easy way to play with your data.